back in beautiful Botswana for the third and final day of the Toyota 1000 Desert Race, the only marathon event on the Donaldson Cross Country calendar. Let's quickly recap what unfolded on day 2 of what's turning out to be an utterly absorbing race.
The Argentine pair of Ronaldo Varela and Gustavo Gugelmin shocked everyone. They were fastest in qualifying and thus started first on day 2. But they quickly came into trouble, allowing the RFS Motorsport team of Christian Deploy and Henk Janssen van Vieren to take over top spot.
The two Castrol Toyota teams were hot on their heels, and eventually it was the championship defending champions and last year's Desert winners, Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy, that went in front.
They stayed there until the finish, leading a Toyota 1-2-3 in Class T, with Leroy Poulter and Rob Howie coming home in second place, followed by the Horns, Johan and Werner from Malalan Toyota.
In Class A in the Specials, Lawrence Du Plessis and Healy LaRue put in an outstanding performance in their Zarko. They were fastest in qualifying and kept that form throughout day 2.
The battle for second place was far tougher, with the Silvalds, Quinton and Cully from Elegant Fuel leading the charge, but they were tested by the likes of Arthur Barnes and Anthony Usher.
In Class P, as was the case, Colin Matthews alongside Rodney Burke led for much of the day, but in the end it was James Watson and John Thompson that crossed the line first.
In Class G, Gareth Woolridge and Boyd Dreyer set the pace in their Polaris.
So Du Plessis and LaRue going strong in Class A. But what about those taking part in the Dakar Challenge?
So the Dakar Challenge is a race within the race. To participate to the challenge, you have to register up front. It's really great to see how many cars here in Botswana, coming from South Africa and Botswana, decided to make the challenge and committed somehow to do the Dakar. So this is extremely interesting.
So with 1 day to go, Taylor and Murphy hold a lead of 1 minute and 8 seconds over Castrol Toyota teammates Poulter and Howie, but crucially double the points are on offer, meaning another 25 points are up for the taking.
As for the Specials, Du Plessis and LaRue were forced to retire, meaning we have a new leader in the Toyota 1000 Desert Race, Quinton and Cully Silvalt.
The bivouac was a hive of activity on the Saturday as teams worked fast and furiously to get their chariots ready, shades of the Dakar Rally.
In the Dakar we don't have as much bush as we've got in Botswana, and that's what does so much damage to the cars. You see, most of our work which we've been doing today is really bodywork damage, so that's what takes a long time. But as far as the bivouac or the overnight, the DSP as we call it, very, very similar. We had no major problems with the cars at all. We seem to have lost a little bit of pace in the last 200 kilometers, which I'm not quite sure what happened, because in the first 200 we were all close within a sort of minute apart, and then suddenly on the last 200 we lost quite a bit of time. So we're busy looking into that. We've made a couple of changes for tomorrow and see if we can do a bit better.
Well, it's basically like a small Dakar. You teach every day, take every day as a challenge for you as well. All the cars took quite a lot of strain today with all the new route and the bodywork, so that's big time. But the guys did very well. They brought the cars back in one piece for us, so that makes our life easier as well.
When we got here, we all immediately thought that this has got a good resemblance to Dakar. The way everyone's set up and just the amount of people here, and it's, you know, all the guys are kitted out. Most of us are camping here in the pits. This is pretty much what Dakar is like.
It certainly is what Dakar is like. Sleep is but a 4-letter word at the bivouac, and I can tell you there won't be much had as the third and final day approaches.
It's an extremely chilly morning here in Botswana ahead of the final day's racing here at the Toyota 1000 Desert Race. The big question is, who will win out this battle between man and machine and the desert? Evan, how are you feeling going into this last part of the race?
Yeah, feeling good. Good with the fact that we're going into the second day, then we made it through the first day. Not too many competitors left, but a full day of unknown out there for us.
Anthony, this is the moment. It's the last straight now. How are you feeling?
Yeah, a bit nervous, I must be honest. we had a tough day yesterday trying to get through the field, and fortunately we got through all right and we came home in the position that I really wanted to be to get the points. But again, the same repeat again today, another 25 points up for grabs. But another long day here in the Toyota Desert 1000, and it's going to be difficult opening the route this morning, but fortunately I got Leroy behind me, so I know I'm not going to get too much pressure from him, and we've got quite a big gap to third, so it's great. I think we've got a good chance.
They certainly do have a good chance. Remember, these two men basically led from start to finish last year.
Not too far behind Castrol Toyota teammates Poulter and Howie.
Remember, Taylor mentioned that double the points are on offer. On day 2, they claimed 25 in the first heat, and now a further 25 is on the table. Can they claim a full house?
Well, time will tell. Now, while Howie is somewhat of a Botswana veteran, Poulter is a rookie when it comes to this race, but he's taking it on like a seasoned pro. Their experiences in the Dakar must certainly come in handy.
In third place, and in another Hilux, Johan and Vanna Horn, they've had a sensational start to the season since moving to Class T. And as I say that, they're being caught by the new leaders in Class A, Quinton and Kali Silvalt from Elegant Fuel. They spot the gap, and they through. The Bat Venom leads in Class A and is now third overall.
They're looking for their third win of the season, their only mishap coming in KZN in May. The Horns aren't giving up without a fight and are in full pursuit.
Second in Class A, but more importantly first in the Dakar Challenge, Hutchison and Stassen from Motorite. The defending champions failed to finish their last 2 races, but are going strong here.
Hutchison said that he thoroughly enjoyed their dice with Duplessis and Leroux, as well as the Silvalts, but with the former looking to be out of the mix, it's the Silvalts that they're up against now.
Currently 4th in Class T and 2nd in the Dakar Challenge, Gary Berthold and Siegfried Rousseau from Atlas Copco Ford Racing. They've been impressive since switching to Ford. Their best finish 2nd place in KZN. Speaking before the race, Berthold said it was all about the Dakar Challenge, so they'll be well aware that Evan is the man to catch if they want to get their free ticket to Dakar.
Cyril van Biljon and Philip Herstelman from Atlas Copco are absolutely loving life. They're lying 5th in class.
That could change, though not far behind them. The men who led for a while on day 1, Christian Duploy and Henk Janssen van Vuren. The RFS Motorsport Ford Ranger quickly closing the gap, but the men in front trying to keep hold of 5th spot.
Let's get a front seat of the action, and very little visibility for Duploy, who's living in the dust of Van Biljon.
This is getting extremely tight. Something's got to give. And Duploy looks like he's had enough. And he's given Van Biljon a gentle nudge, and the Dakar competitor finally gives way. The Ford Ranger climbs to 5th.
3rd in Class A, the duo from the DRC, Eduardo and Ricardo Agazzi in their Bat Spec 4. They found life very tough this year, having failed to finish a race so far. Could things change this time around for the racing veterans?
The other Silvalts, Wichart and Hermann in 4th place. Wichart behind the wheel for the first time.
Hopefully that's not the last time. And oh no, beached in the thick desert sand. They've come to a stop and have dropped. And that's allowed Manfred Schroeder and Jelby Badenhorst from Atlas Copco Ford Racing to go ahead. The Silvalts also dropping a place in class.
Schroeder and Badenhorst have had a superb season so far, winning in KZN, while grabbing 25 points amongst the other 2 races. They're tied at the top of the Donaldson Cross Country Championship as a result.
Jason Venter and Vincent van Alleman from 4x4 Mega World, who are currently in 8th position in Class T. They've been in great form and are also Dakar Challenge entrants.
In 9th place, the Brazilian surprise package, Varela and Gugleman. Undoubtedly loving life in Africa. They certainly got everyone talking with their performance in qualifying for the Toyota 1000 Desert Race, and while they haven't quite been able to replicate those feats, they've certainly proved that they belong.
5th in Class A, Arthur Barnes and Anthony Usher in their Bat Venom. You can't miss the green. Barnes was amazed at how quick the route was and that he is determined to finish, and they've only failed to do that once in 2014.
Brothers-in-law Michael Whitehouse and Matthew Carlson back together again. The Regent Racing team are 10th in class and are also part of the Dakar Challenge.
Another Regent Racing Navarra, Jürgen Schroeder and his son Daniel, very closely followed by Henny de Klerk and Johan Smallberger in the Treasury One BMW.
On board with our Imperial Auto Celeb team, former provincial cricketer Terence Marsh and former box Stefan de Blanche. Stefan competing in his 3rd Donaldson Cross Country event, and they've just gone past the Ford Ranger of Loder Brain and Rian Grayling from Rivercon. Other celebs this year including Springbok rugby legend AJ Fenter and Neil Tovey.
He loves the desert, as is proof. Colin Matthews alongside Rodney Burke from Century Racing. The pair currently 1st in Class P in their CR3.
They're absolutely flying and pass Heine Strumpfer and Henry Hichu with ease.
The ever-popular Keith Macanetti and Moalosi Boroto going strong in their Zarco Magnum, 2nd in Class P.
There's a good battle for 3rd in that class. Watson and Thompson currently winning it against Sean Wrights and Michael Abramson from Regent Racing.
So after 70 kilometers in the 2nd heat, Taylor and Murphy lead the way ahead of teammates Poulter and Howie, while the Horns hold on to 3rd spot in Class T.
Quinton and Cully Silvold 1st in the specials, with Hutchison and Stassen not too far behind.
Taylor admitted that he was nervous before today's action, but who knows why? He's an experienced, successful driver and looks to be handling this route with ease. But that said, one can never be too confident.
Poulter and Howie look to have taken half a tree with them for a ride. They've failed to finish in their last outing in Nkomas and will be hoping for a better ending this time around. They look to be in good shape though.
These two experienced their first Dakar together at the beginning of the year and had an incredible start to the race, fastest to the first control point between Rosario and San Juan in Argentina, so they know all about desert racing.
I spoke a little too early about being in good shape, as it looks as if they're pulling over now for what hopefully is just a puncture. Shouldn't have too big an effect on position as the Horns are far behind.
Well, speaking of which, here are the brothers, still in 3rd place in Class T.